All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Patrick Spencer. My DOC number is 624536.
Patrick, my name is Brendan Kelsey. Along with me is Mr. Tony Marabella. Mr. Pete Freeman will be your panel. You're gonna have a parole interview, ask you some questions. You can respond. At the end, you can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Patrick Spencer, DOC number 624536. You're a third class offender. Parole eligibility date 5/18/2025. Good time 5/18/2026. Full term 2/12/2027. You have a 6-year sentence. Just see, habitual offender, possession of methamphetamines, possession of firearm, convicted felon, possession of legendary drugs without a prescription, theft of a firearm, simple burglary over 1,500, illegal possession of stolen things over 1,500. Does that sound correct? Look like you
Yes,
were revoked a couple times. All right, would you answer, Mr. Marabella, please?
Good morning, Mr. Spencer. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How old are you, Mr. Spencer?
38 years old, sir.
How long have you been in prison this time?
Right at 21, 22 months, I believe. I think I got about 7 years into it altogether on this 10-year sentence.
Tell me a little bit about your educational background. How far did you go in school?
I graduated high school.
Okay. What about your work history? What kind of work do you do?
I'm from the country, and country boys got to be able to do anything. I do a lot of welding. I've done a lot of plant work and offshore drilling. We got a lot of gravel pits where I'm from, and that's always been a fallback. But sir, I built scaffold. I've done just about any kind of construction work there is. I believe I forwarded y'all a copy of my resume, but it was months ago when I sent that.
I'm looking at your history. You've had 12 plus arrests. You've got 10 separate felony convictions. You've got a 4 supervision history. Tell me, you were revoked in February of 2022. Tell me why the crime. Tell me why you can't stay out of trouble.
I mean, I just sometimes I make bad decisions, sir. I can't lie to you. I'm a drug addict, and but I was able to take a lot of treatment on this time being incarcerated. I did the RSAT program at Concordia. That's a long-term drug treatment program, and I actually did it twice. And maybe a month before finishing it the second time, I got shipped to a work facility. I also did living in balance 1 and 2. I did anger management. And I took Inside Out Dads. I was able to get in it because my children are in foster care in Mississippi right now, and they're actually attempting to terminate my parental rights. And if I can't get there, they're going to.
Tell me about your drug use. When did you start using drugs?
Long time ago, probably 15 years ago, sir. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What did you use?
I mean, it started out just marijuana and drinking, and somewhere along the way, I found methamphetamine, and that one there has been the bane of my existence. The burglaries on, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The burglaries on there from 2014, that was what a heroin run looked like for me. But I haven't touched heroin since. But that was the cause of that.
So how often were you using meth?
Sporadically.
Why were you revoked?
My girlfriend was at the house with a firearm in her purse, and my parole officer went in her purse and found her firearm. I believe she sent y'all a email explaining the circumstances behind that.
Well, you've got pending charges currently in the 22nd Judicial District, 2 counts of felon possession of a firearm. You had an arraignment date that was passed until October. What's the status of that?
I don't know. I filed, I've been kind of doing it on my own, and I filed several motions. I filed for a preliminary exam. I filed a habeas corpus, and I haven't been to court, and I notified them that I would like to be present. And my girlfriend was actually at court on the 11th, hoping it was going to be my preliminary exam where she could, tell what happened and why she had her gun. And I didn't go, and she said,
Why
I'm sorry.
2 counts. If she had a gun in her purse, you're charged with 2 separate.
She had 2 guns.
You had 2 guns.
Yes, sir.
Well, what about the hole you have on you in Mississippi for a parole violation?
I was
Oh.
on probation and, but she's got it. She's prepared to come up there. I'm pretty sure I'll go there. And when we explain the circumstance,
For there,
sir,
what are you on probation for there?
it was a burglary the same time I caught those other burglaries in 13, I believe.
Why is there a hold on you now? Because you got
When-
rearrested?
Well, when I got arrested, I had 3 holds. I had a probation and parole hold from Louisiana. I had a hold from the 22nd and I had a hold from Mississippi. Well, she spoke to the district attorney over there, Mr. Warren Montgomery, and she was led to believe that no charges were going to be pursued on these 2 guns. And, you know, like 16 months went by.
Not the case, because I just got some notice that they had an arraignment for you and it's been reset for October the 9th. So
Right.
those
They
continue on.
they filed the bill on June 27th. And, you know, we're prepared to go for her to be there and everything. I mean, I'm going to fight it on this one. This one ain't really right, sir.
Tell me what you learned in RSAT.
We did a lot of the MRT was the big thing in RSAT. And, we did a lot of self-reflection. And the one thing that comes to my mind was there was an exercise in there about the 5 worst times of my life and the 5 best times of my life. And all the 5 best times in my life come from being around my family. And all the 5 worst times of my life come from my drug use. You know, and it's impossible not to connect the dots there.
How are you going to stay sober if you get out?
Well, my children are in foster care right now. And y'all look, if I tried to explain to y'all the pro se legal campaign that I've waged across 2 states to try to get to them, and they're trying to terminate my parental rights because it took me too long to.
It's sober.
Well, I believe that my children.
Doing drugs. How are you going to stay sober? What is your plan to stay sober?
To get my kids and to focus all my attention on them. They've been through a horrendous experience.
What are your triggers?
Sir?
What are your triggers? You know what a trigger is for
Yes,
drugs?
sir. The same people, the same places, and the same things.
How about stress? How about problems in life? How about things that don't go right?
Yes, sir. All of those too.
And you just described to me a fight that you're getting ready to take with the people in Mississippi about trying to get your kids back, something that's going to be tremendously stressful. And I asked you how you're going to stay sober, and you said by fighting this fight. What's your plan to stay sober?
I'm willing to go to meetings. I'm willing to go to
I
treatment.
don't know what you're willing to do. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to keep my head on straight and do what I have to get my kids. If I don't, I lose them forever. And there ain't nothing more important on this earth to me than my children, y'all.
But you're not giving me a plan for staying sober.
I mean, I got to make good one day at a time. I can't worry about tomorrow. That's something that come out of RSAT.
I'm worried about tomorrow. I'm worried about letting you out and what's gonna happen. And you're not convincing me that it's a good idea to let you out.
Please, y'all, I promise y'all, you won't see me no more.
How many times do drug addicts promise and promise and promise?
Yes, sir, you're right.
What's your plan? You got one?
My plan is to be focused on these kids, and I want to start a business on this storm cleanup. As much as we get hit with the storms, and I can start out with a little bit of nothing, and that's, you know, I feel like that if I focus everything I got on that, and church and my family,
You are a moderate risk to reoffend, and you have a high need on the substance abuse scale. Working and fighting for your children isn't going to keep you sober. Those are going to be stressors that would make you want to do drugs when things don't go right.
But I mean, to date, sir, everything's went right. You know, it took me 9 months to get my parole eligibility corrected and me to get in front of y'all. And I've made good choices throughout this whole 18 or 19 months, however long it is.
Throughout this whole 18 or 19 months.
I'm sorry you cut out.
Left to your own devices. You've been in prison for 22 months.
Yes, sir, but it's very possible to make bad choices here, and I think I've showed.
It's a lot easier to make them on the outside.
Yes, sir.
It's evidenced by your record.
Yes, sir.
That's all I got.
Right, Miss, let's see, anybody here?
She didn't.
All right, Freeman's got one question. Would you answer Mr. Freeman's question, please?
Mr. Howard, in that burger in Mississippi, y'all stole guns?
No, sir. A TV.
Okay, that's it.
All right, would you like to make a statement on your behalf, Patrick?
Yes, sir. I told y'all about the treatment I've taken. When I wasn't in treatment throughout this incarceration, I worked. Y'all, I worked on a garbage truck. I worked in the kitchen. I worked maintenance at every facility I've been at. I've washed cars. I've cleaned the sheriff's departments. I've also been an unofficial inmate counsel. I asked y'all to consider that it did take 9 months of me fighting ARPs to get in front of y'all. I asked y'all to consider the fact that my children are in foster care, and that if I don't make parole, that they're going to try to terminate my rights and adopt my kids out, and they're separated, and they need me, y'all. And I can't even describe to y'all the legal battle that I've fought here. I've sold my food for stamps and legal tablets. I've glued used stamps on envelopes to mail them in, to have postage to mail in legal documents. I've handwritten out my copies when I didn't have access to a copier. I think I've done the right thing with my time here, and I know I ain't always made the best choices, but I did right in here, and I did it for 2 reasons. The first one is because it made my time easier, but secondly was so that when I stood in front of y'all, I could say, you know, I did the right thing and I learned something from this. And y'all, my momentum is high right now, and I don't know no way to stress to y'all how high it is and what it's going to do to it if y'all deny me today. My family needs me, and I know I ain't always made the right choices, but I'm trying to go do some real good here, y'all. And I'm begging y'all. Look, I'll take an ankle bracelet. I'll do anything it takes for y'all to let me go back and try to get my children. I'll do anything, any conditions, however many meetings a week. Look, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, y'all. If I do fail, they'll lock me back up. Y'all know this, but I'm begging y'all for a chance here. And if I don't get this today, y'all, it's gonna kill everything. And I know that ain't y'all's fault. And I don't mean to put that at y'all's feet, but it's important. Everything in this world that means anything to me is riding on this, and I'm begging y'all.
All right, thank you for your comments. All right, panel prepared to vote. Yes, Mr. Marabella.
Mr. Spencer, I think in the last 22 months or however long you've been in prison, a light has come on perhaps. I think maybe you're moving in the right direction, but I can just see the stress on you right now. I mean, I understand what's building up on you. And if I vote to let you out right now, you're going to be back doing drugs in a month. You need a plan. You don't have a plan. You're willing to do whatever we tell you to do, so you say. But you were told that many, many times on parole and on probation, and you never did it. You don't have a plan yet. You may have the foundation now to understand that you've got a drug problem and you got to do something about it, but you got to come up with a plan, and you don't have it. You need more programs to help you understand your addiction and what it's going to take to not to go back to drugs. Fighting your fight that you're talking about fighting for your children is going to be so much stressful on you. You're not, I mean, look at you. You're under stress right now just talking to us.
Yes.
You just need a little more time. You need a little more education, and you need a plan to stay sober. You need to understand the 12 steps. You need to go to meetings when you get out, and you need to do that for yourself and not because we tell you to do it. And you're not there yet. So my vote today is to deny. And you've got pending charges in St. Tammany Parish, as well as a probation hold for you in Mississippi. So,
Mr. Freeman.
I concur. Vote to deny.
All right, 2 votes to deny. Also going to vote to deny for the same reasons as stated. Good luck to you.